Hey, g'day mate, how you doing? Hey, haven't seen you around for a while. Hey, what are you doing out these parts?
Just filming a nature show.
Oh, filming a nature show, eh? Yeah. Oh, well, that's interesting, mate.
What are you doing in these parts?
Oh, mate, I'm sort of diversifying a bit, I'm sort of getting a bit of cash flow. So what I'm doing is I'm getting some city people and they come and stay at the farm for a week or so, mate. Bit of free labour for me, even though they're a bit useless, mate, And they just come and they rough it a bit, and what have you. And part of that, I take them out and have a bit of a wander out in the bush, a bit of a bushwalk, mate. They like that sort of thing, They're down here around about here somewhere, Bruce is with them, so she'll be right, mate. The dog Bruce is with them. Yeah, they'll show up in a minute, Yeah. Yeah, now, I tell you what, mate. Yeah, look, you're in the TV game, aren't you, mate? Yeah, I turned the telly on the other night, mate, and this strange show comes on. It's called A Farmer Wants a Wife, mate. Well, hey, what's this bloody thing, mate? Farmer Wants a Wife, eh? Thought it was some sort of show, but it turned out to be a matchmaking show, mate. Setting these bloody young farmers up with some bloody wives, mate. I thought to myself, they don't need to go on the telly to do that, mate. I can give them some advice, get them sort of sorted out, get them find themselves a wife that way, mate, So I thought to myself, well, okay, look, you got to understand, mate, farming's a bit of a quiet game. You're out in the paddock, 7 days a week, mate. You go to town maybe once a fortnight. I know blokes only go into town once a month, mate. So you just don't get to see the ladies too often, mate, Not like them city blokes, mate. Oh, mate, I went to the city once, mate. Oh, mate. Women everywhere, mate, all dressed up, They're in the shops and the trains, everywhere you look, mate. There's these beautiful-looking women, mate. Well, I couldn't believe it, mate, Now, farmers don't get to see that much, mate, So, when all them young farmers are in that room there on that stage sort of thing, mate, and all these sort of potential wives come walking in, mate, oh, you could just about hear them go, whoa. Mate, And that's the first thing those blokes need to learn, is to use your noggin, mate. Not to listen to the oar, mate. You can't listen to that oar. Your oar will get you into a lot of trouble, mate. It will, mate. So that's the first lesson they need to learn. Now, the second thing they've got to think about, mate, is she's got to be able to drive a manual vehicle, mate. If she can weld or use a chainsaw, mate, that'd be bloody fantastic, wouldn't it, mate, eh? Oh, that's like a real dream, that one would be. But no, you're not in the real world, mate. You're probably not going to find someone like that. So, but you absolutely has to drive a manual vehicle, mate.
Don't farmers drive automatics?
Mate, oh, mate, that's a good one, mate. Bloody farmer drive an automatic vehicle, mate. That could never happen, mate. Oh, no, that could just never happen, mate, No, it'd be sort of just real Aussie farmers are not going to drive automatic vehicles, mate, So she's got to be able to drive a manual. Now, look, in all honesty, mate, I have seen an automatic ute once in my life, mate. Me and some of the blokes, we were standing outside the produce store, mate, having a bit of a chin wag, mate, and this was this big feed truck with some hay on it, and it took off down the road and parked behind it was this brand spanking new XR6 Falcon ute, mate. Oh, what a nice looking thing that was, mate, And we sort of looked at each other and we're all shaking our heads. Oh, it's not mine, it's not mine. Who in the district could buy a bloody new ute? So we wandered over to have a bit of a gander, And we get over there. The first thing that struck me, mate, it was locked. Mate, I couldn't believe it. It was locked. Mate. And then I looked in the window, mate, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was automatic, mate. Automatic. Can you believe it? And I just said that. I said, it's automatic. And all the other blokes, we stood there with our mouths open. We were like bloody stunned rabbits in the headlights, mate. We couldn't believe what we were seeing. And we thought, could Ford actually make an automatic? Oh, Ford's, our estimations in Ford went way down that day, mate. We really got disillusioned with Ford. But anyway, the fact that someone in the district might have bought an automatic ute. But then I spies that just out of the corner of my eye, this bloke coming out of the produce store, mate. And Well, mate, he was one of them Pitt Street farmers, mate, you know. He stood out like the ball's equipment, mate. Oh, he come wandering over. Well, we better give him a nod. Yeah, good day, mate, how are you? And we walked off, mate, and he gets in his ute. He drives off down the road, mate. Oh, mate, you should have heard it. Automatic thing, and it goes... Oh, mate, it's an awful noise, those things, mate, you know. And we're laughing. We're cracked up laughing, mate. That was a story we told for bloody months afterwards. Everyone bloody cracking up an automatic ute, mate, you know. So, yeah, mate, that's the second thing you've got to make sure is you can drive a manual vehicle, mate, okay? Now the third thing you've got to look out for. Well, you've got to look at it like you're buying a new cow, mate, you know. So, what you do is you sort of stand back a bit and just have a good look at her, you know. Now, she should be a big size, a good size, you know. Carrying a bit of fat, you don't want them skinny buggers, mate. Now, wide in the pins, that's a sign of a good breeder, that is, mate, you know. She have a good shiny coat, good strong sort of leg muscles, thigh muscles, upper muscles, mate. She might need to push the ute out of a bog sometime, you know, mate. Should have good bright eyes, mate. You should look into them eyes and they should be wide open, sparkling, like she will take on the world, mate, you know. So, you know, and she should just have a good stance about her, you know. And that'd be the third thing you should look for, mate, you know. Now the fourth thing's pretty tricky. It's temperament, mate, you know. Now you need to get a good temperament, you know. And, well, this is pretty hard to bloody pick, mate. Now I've got a bit of a family secret, you know, handed down through the generations, father to son sort of thing, on a bit of a trick on this. Now, it's a bit of a risky one, mate. You know, you got to be quick, mate. They can get a bit of a reaction out of them, so you got to be really quick and careful, mate. So what you do, mate, is you sort of get down and you grab hold of their lower leg, mate. You know, and you run your hand up their leg. You know, give it a bit of a squeeze every now and then around their knee area, and when you get your hand right up the top of their leg, mate, round, you know, and then you take and you give them a nice little tap on the rump, mate, just a tap. Boom. You know, now some point when you're doing this, you're going to get a reaction, you know, quite possibly anyway. Now it might be a violent reaction. They might try and headbutt you. You know, they might try and bloody kick you, or squash you up against the ute or something, you know. Now, them violent buggers, mate, you don't want them. Oh, no, you don't want them buggers, mate, you know. So, walk past them, move on to the next one, mate, you know. Now, the second thing that might happen is you get no reaction at all. Well, sort of. This is where you've got to look closely, mate. You've got to study your body language a bit. Now, they might tense up a bit, yeah, and they might look at you and their eyes narrow down a bit and they get a bit of a frown on their face. And you keep an eye on their shoulder muscle, mate. You might get a little bit of sort of muscle twitch in their shoulder. Now, these buggers, mate, these are real bad buggers because these are the ones that store it away in their mind, mate. They store it away in their head. And months later, you're walking past them and biff, they'll give you a headbutt, you know. So, yeah, you just don't want those unpredictable buggers, mate. You don't want them. Now, the third reaction is the one you're looking for. Now, this is the one you're looking for, mate. And it's really hard to pick. Hard to put into words, mate, to tell you how to look for it. But you'll know it when you see it. That's about the best way I can say it. You'll know it when you see it. They won't be tense. They'll be really relaxed. And they'll look at you, and they'll have a little grin on their face, mate, you know. And you can tell what they're thinking. They're thinking, you cheeky little devil. And they're the ones you've got to grab hold of them, mate, with both hands and go for the ride, mate, because they're the ones you're looking for, mate. So I reckon if them young farmers would have followed my advice there, mate, they'd get themselves a wife quick smart, mate. Yeah, no worries.
But you're not married, Malcolm.
Mate, okay, mate, yeah, I see where you're coming from, mate. You're just saying I'm not married and therefore I'm talking through my hat and don't know what I'm talking about, mate. Well, maybe you're right, mate. Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know, mate, you know. I don't know. But maybe I should go on that show, mate, you know, and show them how it's done. Mate, you know, that'd be something, mate. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that, mate, you know. They were all bloody young, beautiful-looking people, mate, you know. And me, mate, I'm more like your weathered Greek statue, mate, you know. lived life a bit, you know. So no, I wouldn't do that, mate. You know, no. Look, I tell you something, mate. You know, you're getting old, mate, when you lust after grandmothers, mate. You know. And I've got my eye on a granny, mate. Oh, yeah. Oh, she's a good sort, mate. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, mate. She's a good sort, mate. Yeah. Hey, mate. Hey, have a go behind you, mate. Have a go. It's Bruce the dog, mate. She's trying to herd up their bushwalkers, mate. Have a go at her, mate. Look at their bushwalkers. They don't know what to do, mate. That dog, Bruce, she's mad, mate. You know, she'd herd up elephants if she come across any, mate. Obsessed with herding things. Hey, Bruce, get in behind, Bruce. Bloody stupid dog, mate, you know. Bruce, stop that, Bruce. Don't do that, mate. Don't. Mate, you shouldn't have done that. Bruce, get in behind. Don't make me come over there, Bruce. Oh, I better go and sort this dog out, mate. Bruce, get in behind, Bruce. Bruce, what are you doing?